Okay, welcome to the latest, or one of the latest of the 10 subseries. I'm still working on the intro. This one is called Personal Brand Equity, and I'm Shonna Dorsey with the Nebraska Tech Collaborative, powered by the Exarban Foundation, here with my co-host.
Todd Murphy.
I said code host, but you got it, co-host.
I don't code, but I am a co-host, and I'm honored to be here with Shonna Dorsey.
Yeah, thanks for being here.
Well, it's fun. I like it when we get together. We get to have kind of a loose conversation.
Yeah.
And hopefully this series on personal brand equity will be light, simple, soft skills that people don't have to follow to a T,
Right.
but can adapt and adopt and integrate into who they are. It's not going to be one of those programs that if you miss the 7th of 9 steps, it all falls apart.
Right.
If you just remember one thing, hopefully you'll be better for it and be able to navigate the professional world better.
Yep.
And ultimately, it's all about helping those, in my mind. You may have a different perspective.
Yeah, let's hear what you got.
So on the way over, I thought, what is the objective of this other than to have fun and entertain?
And help.
And help. Help is really what it's all about, and caring. You know, we want to care. But it's really about people who are interested in thriving with the skills they have and who they are. And so I thought a good place for us to start would be kind of a concept I like to refer to as don't fight human nature. So we're going to bat that around a little bit today, and I hope
like
you'll ask me questions and quiz me on that.
I will. And before we get too far into this is a 10-minute podcast for those who are not familiar with this format. So
it's not going to take long.
It's not long. It's unedited.
We'll get you back to Instagram shortly. It's quick hit stuff, and you can move on with your day.
Yeah. Okay. So let's talk about this. So human nature. Don't fight it.
So human nature. And a lot of people dismiss it because you can't fight human nature. I am going to go home tonight and do a lot of the routines I do when I get home. Take off my shoes, put on some music, whatever my routines are. If I want to change that, like adopt a new workout regime when I get home, that's going to take some effort. Now, if I want to lose weight or become a faster runner, I'll never become as fast as you are, but if I wanted to be a faster runner, I'm going to have to change my behaviors, but I'm not going to change who I am.
Right.
And this series is not about changing who you are. We're not going to ask you to fight human nature, but you have to accept a few things. Like this morning, if I can give you an example.
Absolutely.
I was on the phone. I do a twice a month call with the company that manages our AdWords. And very nice person. I love our AdWords manager. She's great. But we were talking about click-through rate and call to action. And she said, frankly, where it says request a demo worries me that I'm going to have to talk to a person. I'd rather have a call to action that has an action that occurs but doesn't require me to talk to somebody. As a millennial, I don't want to talk to people. Text me, email me, something like that. And I said, hey, I get that. So from an AdWords optimization perspective, I don't want to fight that human nature that she's purporting the millennials to have, but rather embrace it and make our call to action, acknowledge that, which would also serve any other age group or demographic equally. But when I thought about it a little bit more, if a person wants to thrive, they're going to have to accept the fact that they will need to talk to people. It's a fact of life.
Yes.
People are curious. They're going to ask you questions. They're going to want to know, in terms of what your skills are, they're going to want to know how good you are, how credible you are. So there will be some things we talk about that may make you personally uncomfortable, but I'm going to hopefully, and with your help, suss out some ideas that make you feel less anxious about interacting.
Right. And that's really a part of what this is all about, is the connection piece. So I know we'll talk a lot about the social media aspect of it, but there are a lot of in-person opportunities that are hugely valuable.
Yes.
If taken advantage of in the right way, when I use that word. So let's dig into this a little bit. So human nature, don't fight it. Okay, so let's keep going with this example of I don't want to talk to a person, right?
Right.
So how can someone who is like, I really want to do all I can to make connection, but not talk or
Right.
connect.
Yeah. So
If that makes sense.
yeah. So I think one thing is accepting that that's real, you know, and I'm not a psychiatrist or a psychologist, and I'm not a coach, although I have used therapists, I have an executive coach, and all those professionals can help you with things like that far better than I can do in 10 minutes shared with Shonna. But fighting who you are is an uphill battle. Recognizing that you're going to have to talk to people is a reality. And so you're going to have to find a way to lower that anxiety. And one thing you can do is just accept it and say, okay, I'm an introvert maybe. Forget being a millennial. Say you're an introvert. Okay, a couple things I can do is rather than hang on the wall and hope for someone to approach me, I'll look for maybe someone else who's hanging on the wall. And I'll say, hey, I noticed you were here as well. Are you a recent graduate? Maybe you're recently graduated from college or something. If you just ask a question, you know, sales books are written about this, personal well-being, coaching, all of that says start, you know, selling. Any of that starts with asking questions. So I know it's kind of a cliche now from Ted Lasso, be curious, but it's true. That's one way you can take the anxiety about having to, take the anxiety out of having to start a conversation. Just ask someone a question. Hey, I see you're here. My name's Todd. You don't even have to give them your last name. You can just introduce yourself. And we talked about it last time. That's going to elicit a response. Oh, hi, Todd. I'm Shonna Dorsey. I apologize. My name's Todd Murphy. I'm with TrueScope North America. What do you do?
Yeah.
Just asking questions. And so now, again, you're in a conversation.
That's true. And, you know, the good point about the example you're using, and I think about many of the tech conferences that come up. So there will be one later this fall, most likely after this recording is released, hopefully, so that people can use these tips. We will make sure that happens. But anyway, if you're at a conference where the topic is already around something that you're both obviously interested in because you're at the event,
Yeah.
it's an easy ask like, hey, so what brought you here? Is there a speaker that you're excited to see or anything like that?
Yeah.
But there's, yes.
That's a perfect example. After a session, you know, session breaks, everyone heads out into the hallway for coffee, water, soda, whatever. Walk up to someone and say, what do you think of that last speaker? You know, maybe he was good. Maybe she was bad. Maybe whatever. Just asking someone, what was your opinion of what we just heard is a great way to start a conversation. For some people, that is very anxiety producing. But if you can get over that, then you'll find yourself in a conversation and potentially make a connection with somebody.
Right.
And I hate to say it, but the outcome of this is ultimately people have to make a choice. If I can't get over my anxiety, I'm not asking you to change who you are. If I can't create some strategies to mitigate my introversion, then it is going to be difficult. That's just real. Because once you get into the business world, whatever program you go through, whether it's through the Nebraska Tech Collaborative, Creighton, UNO, Bellevue, wherever, you will be competing for work. And we're going to get into other things like credibility and how to excel in your area and make your specialty known to others.
Yep.
But if you first aren't honest with yourself and say, I'm an introvert or I'm an extrovert, and I can argue the opposite for an extrovert. If you're too extroverted, you potentially can offend. I mean,
Very true.
I could find myself in that position maybe. I like to talk. You might be sitting here saying, Todd, please shut up because I need to interject here.
I have a sign.
Which I'll do. What's your sign?
A sign that I'll hold up that just says.
I thought it was like, casually, like,
No, I'm just kidding around. But I'm thinking, okay, so we have 30 seconds. So one other idea on this topic is, okay, so you're at the conference. You're not a go up to a person and say hello type. Totally get that. But what you could also do, let me know your thoughts on this, is let's say I'm in a breakout session. I take a photo of the person presenting and post it on LinkedIn because that topic was of interest to me. So I could say, was at insert conference name today, heard from insert speaker at company on X topic. How fascinating. Maybe add a little tidbit of your own expertise to it. But if you don't have any, just say that was enlightening, but share and give credit.
That's a perfect example of virtual personal brand equity. You're adding value to what was seen online.
Mm-hmm.
So I love it.
Right. And also gives people a chance to engage with that content, and you're connecting, but you're not talking to anybody.
And then you start to see some comments.
That's right.
And out of that may come can you meet for coffee?
Okay. You got 2 tips. Thanks, Todd.